like, I can't wait for you to hear the band. Mr. Blue, Mr. J are my best
Yeah.
friends. And we have the best time at Grassland in music.
I
And
think it's important kind of to mention before we were kind of starting to segue into our next point about being visible, but I think it's really important to take a moment and say, like, you have to be intentional to put your ego aside. You know, for me and Susan to recruit in the way that we did, it took a lot of trust, I think, on both of our parts. Because, like I said, the weirdness, right? I've heard horror stories of during recruitment time of the other teacher just cutting down the other ensemble. And at the end of the day, you have to trust that the other person, once you've established that relationship, you have to trust that that person's going to follow through and put your ego aside, because it's not about you. It's about the kids and getting them involved in the music ensemble that they will be the most successful in.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. We think, I mean, it may have just come really easy for us. We don't know. We are still kind of like.
Well, I think, some of the relationships I've been in, have been, just as positive, and some more than others. But I've been pretty fortunate, I think, with the people that I've been able to work with, and but you always want to make sure that you're putting those kids first, and like that's exactly what you guys are doing, because it's real easy to be worried about your numbers and your job, and like the biggest thing is you have a job. You're going to have a job unless obviously you don't get any numbers, but you're going to have a job. Everything's going to be okay, and you're going to get the kids in there that want to be in there, and you're not like having to like hook them and like bring them in not against their will, but against their first instinct, maybe.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think even with that, like, there's ebb and flow in your years. Like some years it feels like, I feel like even for us, some years it was like, okay, there are a lot of kids in band. There, I didn't get as many kids in orchestra. And then the next year I got a lot more kids in orchestra than I had, and Nick didn't have as many kids in band. And then, and I think that's really natural.